Konnichiwa Bakanahito. Hello, you fuckers. Welcome to this episode 39 of the Chris Hunter Comedy Podcast with me, Chris Hunter. Hello, how are you doing? Are you well? I hope you're well. I'm pretty well. I'm quite well rested. I've had a holiday, as you can probably tell by the absence of the episodes. So yes, hello folks, it's good to be back. Today's going to be a bit different. It's going to be a bit quicker than normal. It's going to be slightly less, well, it's not prepared at all. Normally, I'll take little notes for myself. Not like a script or anything, just like, hit this point, see what happens. But today, I'm in quite the rush. I ended up going to the cinema today, which I wasn't expecting to do. And that's eaten up a lot of my time, which I normally spend doing the podcast. So instead of preparing, I've just literally got back from the cinema now, said goodnight to Charlie, and I'm doing the podcast. Al fresco, is that the term? Unprepared. Anyway, hello folks, I hope you're all well. I've been on my holidays. I went to the lovely Japan, but before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about the film I just watched, because I just watched it, and you know what, it was pretty damn good, so I want to talk about it for a second. I really enjoyed it. It was called, what was it called? Bohemian Rhapsody? I think it was the Queen film, you know what I mean, the Queen film or the Freddie Mercury film, whichever team you're on, it's that film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very good film. Rami Malek? He was exceptional in it, really, really good. I enjoyed the shit out of it, and tomorrow, I know for a fact in work, I'm going to be listening to the entire Queen discography, because I loved every song that I heard in it, and I know Queen have got a few stinkers as well as all the, the anthems, but I want to hear it all, because I remembered after David Bowie died, I listened to his whole discography, and I learned there's so many songs that I'd never heard before that I really, really enjoyed. And I'm thinking there's going to be quite a few Queen ones that I really enjoy, so I'm going to give them a bash. How's that sound? Sound good? I think it does. So yes, jolly good film, highly recommend it. Go and watch the fuck yeah. Now, as I say, I was on holiday. I went to Japan, ladies and gentlemen. I went to lovely, lovely Tokyo for Halloween, and it was a time. I had a great time. I didn't want to come home. I really didn't want to come home. But alas, here I am at my PC in my house, where I like to be. But, it's not all bad. The only thing is, I think it's probably the last holiday we're going to have until we move there. So it's kind of bittersweet, because now it's full force ahead. Do everything in my power to get there as soon as humanly possible. I want to get back there, which is going to happen. It's going to happen soon, because, the only people who don't get what they want in life are the people who don't try. And I am sure as shit gonna try. Now, yeah, we got up to a lot of stuff whilst we were there. Some cool stuff, some weird stuff, some scary stuff, but stuff nonetheless. One of the cool things I did was I went over. There's a mountain, right? We went to a place called Hakone. Excuse me. Went to a place called Hakone, which is about an hour and a half outside of central Tokyo. Really, really nice train ride there. You get to see Mount Fuji and all that shit on the way there. It's beautiful. But whilst you're there, they have a thing called the Hakone Ropeway, which is like, those ski lift things that people get into in like the Swiss Alps, and they're in the sky on like a thin cable, but they're in like a car thing in the sky really high up. It was one of them that connects other modes of transport that Hakone has. And this one takes you over an pretty much active volcano, which had like a minor eruption like 3 or 4 years ago. So there's just piss loads of gas, sulfuric gas just pissing out of this thing. They've had to vent it so it doesn't blow up, basically. So it's kind of interesting, they've got these man-made vents inside this massive friggin' big mountain that's just spewing out green shit everywhere, and it's literally green. It's clouds of green gas. So it's not the best smell in the world. It smells like rotten eggs, but not also. It's one of those weird smells, right? It smells awful, but it's also not unpleasant. You know what I mean? It's kind of like just slightly overcooked scrambled eggs. But yeah, it was cool. We went to a place in Hakone, the same place. They have an open air museum where they have loads of sculptures and cool shit like that, and that was really cool to see all that stuff out and about. But man, they had these spiders. Fucking hell, they weren't part of the art exhibit or anything like that. They were just Japanese spiders. My God, man, these things, they're so bright. They're like bright yellow and bright green. Which, to me screams, don't go near these fuckers, they will kill you. And they're massive, they have big, strong webs, and I didn't know they had such big spiders. But anyway, I digress. This museum, this Hakone Open Air Art Museum, it has the world's biggest collection of Picassos. Who the fuck would have thought that would happen? There's over 500 Picasso originals in this island in Hakone, in Japan. It's like, what the fuck? What did Picasso have to do with Japan? But anyway, that's what was there. And it was really cool to see. It's good to know that I've got about as much drawing skill as Picasso. And I can see why people go to, he uses the kind of, the styles that he used, I think, because he wants to express his art, but he didn't have the actual, artistic, classical ability, I think, to get across what he feels. So he did it his own way, and I like that. I appreciate that. It's pretty damn cool. Maybe that's what Kanye West does with his music. He's not good at music, so he thinks, I'll do what I know how to do. I don't like him. I'm not saying I'm a fan, but I kind of appreciate what he's doing. We went to that place. That was really, really cool. We also went to a different art museum. Very, very culture trip. Oh, such a culture trip. We went to the Munch exhibit. That's the artist who did the Scream. You know what a Scream is. The big wonky Scream face on the bridge, looking all sad. They had an exhibit in Ueno Park, and we went there primarily because they're doing a crossover with Pokemon. So if you went there, you can get limited edition Scream Pokemon merch. But I also wanted to see the artwork. And you know what? I'm really glad I went, because I'd seen a couple of his pictures, but not many. It's one of those artists. Yeah, I could tell you about the Scream, but I couldn't really tell you about many more. And I walked around the exhibit, and I really, really thoroughly enjoyed his stuff. It's dark, twisted shit. I love it. But also the Pokemon merch was great, and it was mentally busy. Like, it took us about, I don't know, an hour to get through the exhibit. It took us about 40 minutes to queue to get in, and then after the exhibit, the merch shop where everything was, I think could have been about 2 hours to queue, and it was insane. It was so busy, but it was so organised. Like, it was weird, because I kept thinking to myself, I'm definitely in Japan right now, because if this is England, people would be cutting the queue left, right, and centre. Like, because they queued you kind of snaked you around the shop, so there's still merch next to you when you're in the queue. So people were dipping into the queue, getting some merch, and then dipping back out, and then joining the queue at the back, like 40-minute backwards. And I'm thinking, no way in hell, if this is England, would they do that? They'd pick up what they wanted and go, oh, well, I'm in the queue now, might as well stay here, save myself 40 minutes. And I couldn't believe how organised it was. It was so good. But yeah, so that's what we did. We went there. We went to some really cool places. Man, I can't clear my throat today. I've literally just got back from the cinema. My throat's dry as hell. I didn't bring a drink to the podcast. What kind of rookie mistake was that? Anyway, yeah, Hakone had some really cool historic stuff as well. They had a thing called an ancient cedar valley. It's like a pathway made out of really, really old cedar trees, like hundreds and hundreds of year old trees. And they're massive, absolutely massive. There's pictures of me online stood in front of them, and they're not like, giant redwood size, but they're pretty feckin' big. So yeah, that was nice. And we made a friend as well, which is awesome. The lady who served us at the hotel we stayed at, she recognised us from last year, and she gave us a really nice letter when we left, and it was a heart-shaped folded letter saying to us, thanks for staying, and thank you for remembering me, and hopefully if you come back we can hang out or whatever. And it was really nice. So we've hooked up on Instagram and stuff, and that was really cool. And we went to we just spent a week and a half being utter geeks. We went to the Pokemon Cafe twice, which is awesome, because we went before Halloween and after Halloween, so we could try both menus. And I met Pikachu, motherfuckers. I met Pikachu. I high-fived that little yellow bastard, and he didn't know what hit him. It was so good. The food was actually tasty. Normally, at these theme restaurants, the food is arse, but the experience is fun. But no, this time the food was actually really good, and the experience was great. The Pokemon Cafe is so cool. They had, as I say, like merch that is only at the cafe, but they had really good food as well, as I say, and I enjoyed it. And we went to a place, like the place where the hotel is that we stay at in Tokyo. It's near an area called Ningyocho, which we hadn't really looked around much before. It's by the hotel, but it's not on the way to all the cool stuff, so we don't really go there much. But this time we thought, we'll have a look around, and we found there's a restaurant that's featured on a show. I think I told you about it before, the Kantaro on Netflix. It's called Kantaro the Sweet Tooth Salaryman. It's a guy who goes on his lunch break to get Japanese snacks, because he's like me, he likes a nibble. So anyway, we found out one of these restaurants he went to is actually in Ningyocho, right by the hotel. So we went there for some stuff called Shiratama and Mitsu. That's it, Shiratama and Mitsu. And it's really, really nice. It's like a traditional Japanese snack. So it's like a bowl with like cubes of agar-agar jelly. There's some mochi in there. There's some dango. There's some Adzuki red bean paste. It sounds weird, but it's fucking delicious. Nom, 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 nom. So we went there twice because it was so good. I thoroughly recommend that place to anybody if you're near. If you're knocking about, go there. It's amazing. And we went to an idol gig. The Japanese idol groups like AKB48 and all that kind of stuff. We went to one in the Akiba Culture Theatre, because in the basement they have like a gig hall. We were there, we saw a queue, and we were like, you know what, fuck it, let's find out how we get tickets. So I went up and I asked fully in Japanese, where do I buy tickets? And she looked at me stupidly, like she was stood at a till, and she went, here? It's like, cool, give me 2 of them. So we got 2 tickets to groups we've never heard of. Tonight it was 2 groups on, which is awesome. And yeah, it was that was really good as well. I enjoyed it. We were both quite sleepy, so we got kind of a little bit noddy-headed during the gig. Not that it was a bad gig. It really, really wasn't a bad gig at all. It's great. But when you're sleepy, you can't fight it. It was one of them days for us. So yeah, that was awesome. We went we went to Shibuya for Halloween. Now, I said we were going to do this. We were going to go to Shibuya, the famous Shibuya Scramble, the big crossing from Lost in Translation. We were going to go there on Halloween, and oh my god, we went, and it was the busiest thing ever. Like, this whole area for like a good half mile at least was like being at the front row of a gig. I'm not kidding you, that it was that busy the whole time. And it's funny, you get a lot of non-Japanese there as well, because it's like the drinking area. And almost as soon as I left the station, I almost got into a fight. not with me, as in somebody, two guys who were fighting who weren't Japanese. They were starting a fight, if you know what I mean. They were shoving each other and whatnot. One of them got shoved into me. I was like, hey, I'm here. By the way, these 2 guys who are starting to fight are both just normally dressed guys, jeans, t-shirt, leather jacket, looking pretty cool if I do say so myself. And then I'm stood there in a Pikachu onesie with a Dracula costume on top of the Pikachu onesie, because I went to Halloween as Pikachu dressed as a vampire. So I'm there with my little bucket of English sweets, which I brought from England, shaking my bucket, saying trick or treat, and then I'm almost getting involved in some scrap. So that was fun. That almost happened. And yeah, it was just, we had a great time though. After that, everything was fine. And it was so busy, but it was awesome because you could see, like, there's so many people who are like they'd see a bucket of sweets and they'd kind of do a little double take, and they'd tentatively say, trick or treat. And they give them sweets and like, yeah, trick or treat worked. And they look so happy about it. So we did that loads. Like, there's loads of people. And every time we saw a kid who was in, fancy dress or whatever, we'd say to the parents, come and give them, are they okay to take sweets, because they're trick or treating as well. But you never want to just give it to the kids because the parents might not be okay with that, So yeah, that went down really well. There were some really cool costumes as well. Some really, really cool people, knocking about, looking pretty badass. But it was just so fucking busy. My God, man. If you're not good with crowds, you would have hated it. But to be fair, I'm not awesome with crowds, but I actually enjoyed it. Like, I don't go out like drinking and stuff like that, but I came away from that night with the kind of feeling I imagine people get when they do go out drinking. That kind of social, that was fun feeling, as long as one of your friends hasn't gotten a fight or whatever, So yeah, that was a great time. And then what else did we do? We went to a place... we went to a place called Namja Town, which is in the top of Sunshine City. It's like a kids' theme park almost, and that was pretty cool. But it's kind of thing I think you need to be Japanese to fully appreciate, because they have like cool puzzles and like puzzle rooms and things. Not puzzle rooms, what they call, like escape room type things. But you really need to understand Japanese to get the full fun of it. But it's nice to look at, and that was good enough for us. We got some nice tasty gyoza whilst we were there, and that's all. Sometimes that's all you need. We went to Asakusa, which is a place where they have the big, massive, what's it called now? I forgot. The big, massive, like lantern temple place. Oh God, my brain is fried. By the way, guys, I'm still fighting jet lag, so please forgive me. I'm awake almost 2 hours later than I have been managed to be able to for this past 4 days. So I'm doing all right for now. I'm surprised I'm still awake, but I'm struggling through. But yeah, anyway, we went to Asakusa. It's a really cool place, full of traditional, older-looking stuff. But we went to another one of those Kantaro Sweet Tooth Salaryman locations. And this is a pancake place, right? And I thought, it's going to be good. We're near it, so we'll go to it. It's probably not going to be awesome, but we'll go anyway. It's just pancakes. How nice can they be? I'll tell you how nice they can be. They can be fucking glorious. Like this place, I forget exactly what it's called now because its name is just kanji. But they're called hotcakes instead of pancakes. It's the whole shop is run by one woman. Just one woman, that's it. She does the cooking, the cleaning, the taking the cash, the opening, the closing, the everything. It's just this one lady, and man, does she nail it. The place seats about 10 people, so there's always a queue to get in. And we were first in the queue because we were there just before it opened. But the people who were at the front of the queue got impatient and left. Because the lady was a little bit late opening up, and it's like 3 minutes past 12, right? The place is meant to open at 12. And I was saying to Charlie, look, I don't care if she's late. This one woman is running everything. Give her a chance to have a quick piss before she starts a 6-hour shift of not being able to go anywhere. I don't mind. But yeah, anyway, the lady walked in about 4 minutes past 12. Really apologetic. Opened everything up, and we were there, front of the queue, happy as Larry. So we went in there, sat all nice, and waited a little bit. She brought us out a nice glass of water, nice coffee. And then the hotcakes came. Oh my god, I've never had a pancake like it in my life. All it is just 2 pancakes, right, with the kanji for the store branded on them, and then a little tiny slither of butter. Nothing drastic. That's it. Just a bit of butter and some pancakes. And I got the butter and I spread it on top of the top one. It was quite hard, so it slowly melted because they're quite hot. But I've got to say they're the best pancakes I've ever had in my life. And I've had some pancakes. This guy and this gut likes a pancake or two, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was so good. And we, after Asakusa, we went for a wander. We could see the sky tree, the Tokyo sky tree, the really, 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 really tall one. We could see that from Asakusa. We thought, you know what, let's walk there. It's not that far. It's about 20 minutes. We could do the exercise after them pancakes. And we want to go to the Skytree this time anyway, because last time we went to the mall at the bottom, but we didn't actually go up the Skytree because we were, being cheap. So this time we thought, fuck it, it's a quiet day. It's like a Tuesday or something. We'll go up there. So we did. We walked there. We went up. We went up the 300, I think it's 350 meters or something like that, 345 meters. Either way, it's hella high. Gives you an incredible view of Tokyo. Like, just so, you don't realise how vast this place is. And it wasn't even the clearest possible day, so we couldn't see as far as we could have, on a clear day. But yeah, it was just so nice, so really cool. Then after that, we went to Odaiba, which is a place with the massive Gundam. They have like shopping malls and stuff, and they have like an onsen theme park type thing. It's like you go in, you get some food, and they've got like a little like onsen, like the hot spring thing. They've got like an outdoor one. It's almost like a foot bath, but you walk through it, and it has these really painful pebbles at the bottom that are all like cemented in place, and they're meant to affect like pressure points on your foot or something weird like that. But either way, it was horrific. It was like I'd lost the Lego walk challenge and had to do it, but I did it. I did as much as I could, and it was a fun time. To be fair, it was a fun time. Don't worry, I'm not going to bang on about loads of Japanese stuff for long. I just realised I've been going on for like almost 20 minutes now talking about my holidays. But people have been asking, I'm going to tell. But I'll be done soon, folks. Don't you worry. You can cling on for a bit longer. Just a bit longer. I'm almost done. Yeah, so after that, what else did we do? Oh, right, yeah, this is one day, right? We've been clocking in a shit ton of steps during this holiday. And the way you're meant to get like sort of 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. On average, you're supposed to do about that. Well, our average for the holiday was about 24,000 steps a day. We really walked everywhere. One of the biggest ones, the biggest offender, was when we went back to Disney Sea, which I love it there. It's really, really cool. It's like it's only in Japan, this Disney park. It's like they have Disneyland, which is cool, but they have Disney Sea, which I think is better. It's like more aimed at adults. It's not like that different. They've still got Tower Tower and all that kind of stuff. It's just they've got less of the kiddie stuff there. But anyway, we were there for over 13 hours walking around. And on that day we clocked over 30,000 steps. So that was quite cool. But you know what? I thought I'd be a lot more tired than I was. I was alright. I really enjoyed it. We had a great time. They had an amazing fireworks show at the end. Because they have like Mickey doing all the do they call it Fantasia or something like that? Phantasma? I don't know. They call it something like that. But either way, Mickey did his thing. It went on for a while, and it was really, really fun. Yeah, if you ever go to Tokyo, I'd say definitely go to the Disney Sea. It's a really, really cool place. You won't regret it. Yeah, it was awesome. Oh man, I'm getting very fucking tired now. Anyway, yes, folks, like I said, it's a bit of a different format today. There's going to be no adverts and none of that stuff going on. It's just me waffling for a bit because I'm tired. I don't have time to. I don't have time to do edits and things, and I'm basically just going to stop soon. So yeah, folks. That's hopefully caught you up on what I've been up to for the past couple of weeks. What have you guys been up to? Tell me on social media and give me a message. I miss speaking to you folks. You should all send me a message, tweet me, go on Facebook, send me a message there, whatever you want to do. Just let me know what you've been up to because I'm curious. And if you've got any questions as well, drop them to me. I'll try and answer whatever I can. If you want any advice on life, if you want to hear some sort of how I would handle certain situations, feel free to ask. I'm on social media. It's Chris Hunter Comedy for everything, so it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Except for on Twitter, it's at Chris Hunter Com, which is short for comedy. So that's how that works. So thanks a lot for listening, folks. If you like what you hear, do me a favour, just drop us a sub and a rating on iTunes. I really, really, really appreciate it. You have no idea how much it helps me. And if you could share the podcast with your friends if you want them to listen to it as well, that would be so super beneficial. So, good night, you lovely folks. I'm going to go get some sleep because I'm freaking shattered now. Good night. Bye-bye now.